Hi, everyone. Welcome to the virtual writing retreat. I'm so glad you could join us today. I'm sure you're learning so much already, and I know I am. Thank you for joining this session on self-publishing, and let's get started. We've got a lot to cover in just a short amount of time. So you have this book idea, and you're trying to determine, do I want to self-publish or traditional publish? And the reason why I chose to self-publish is I felt like I wanted to get my message out quickly. It's a message of hope. And given that this was written during the beginning of COVID, I felt like, let's get this message of hope out now. So I skipped the query process and went straight to self-publishing it myself. Now, this message is going to be for any kind of publishing, whether you want to publish a children's book, a young adult, a fictional book, a nonfiction. I'm a nonfiction author, so I will talk more about nonfiction, but you will learn the same principles for a fictional book, just rest assured. So the first thing that you want to do is begin writing. And my suggestion to you is please don't self-edit during your first draft. It's very hard for me to do this because I'm a perfectionist. But if you are a perfectionist in the writing process, especially with this first draft, you are going to stop the creative process. So I just suggest give yourself permission to write bad sentences. It's okay. Nobody's going to see your first draft except you, and it might be kind of comical. Anyway, go ahead and write bad sentences, get it all out, and know that you'll have time for editing. And when it does come time to editing, I suggest that you give it probably 3 or 4 self-edits. Now, one of those self-edits, by the time that you develop some good sentences, I suggest that you read it out loud. Once you read it out loud, you are going to catch some things that you didn't catch while you were reading. It just will come out different, and you'll be able to catch some things. So that's a tip with editing. Now, once you get it as good as you possibly can, send it to a professional editor. Now, it shouldn't cost a lot if you've done your job editing, and you can use Grammarly or one of those sites too to help you get it edited to the best of your ability. What I did then next was I hired someone from Upwork. Now, there's other places that have editors that you can hire, such as Fiverr. I used Upwork, and this was the process. I created an account with Upwork and told everybody what my project was, and I actually set a price that I was willing to pay for someone to professionally edit my book, and it was a fair price. And so people who were interested in the project, there were about 13, contacted me through Upwork. Then I chose 3 of those because their listing of what their qualifications are listed on there. So I narrowed it down to 3. Then I had them do some sample edits for me. And from those sample edits, I chose my editor. And when she was done with the project, I paid her through Upwork. So that is the editing process. Now, some suggestions for your title. I would suggest having a very practical title over a creative title so that people know what your book is about. You don't want to get so creative that people are like, huh? What? I don't even know what that book is about. And your subtitle is there so that it helps people to understand what your title is, such as mine, Discovering Gifts in Suffering. That's more practical than Beauty Beyond the Thorns. So it's good to have a subtitle there. But even if Beauty Beyond the Thorns could communicate something creative, but still communicate that it was a biblically based book. I would have liked to have had that in there, the more I think about it. So as you're thinking about your title, make sure that when people see the title, that they understand what is in that book, because some of them are not going to go on and read the description on the back of the book. They're going to pass over your book, even if it might be one that would be good for them. So make sure your title is good and practical. Okay. Now, formatting and cover design. You'll also want to use a place like Upwork or one of those. My cover designer was someone I hired independently. I tried Fiverr and I was not happy with the results, so I hired someone independently. My next book, I'm going to hire 99 covers. And what they do is they have a contest. And so you'll get all kinds of cover designs. Then you can choose what you like best. And then you pay that person who designed that for you. And you have the copyright. If you can find a cover designer and a formatter within the same place that you hire, then go for that, because that would simplify some things. So now one tip that I'm going to be using for my next book is there's a software program called, what's it called? It's called Atticus. Okay, so Atticus has design elements within it, and I might not have to hire a formatter if Atticus does the job. I have purchased Atticus, but I have not yet used it. So stay tuned for how I feel about that. But if you need to hire a formatter, know that you can do it pretty inexpensively. And a cover designer. I would hire a cover designer because you want to make sure and get all the dimensions correct. They're going to be designing the back cover as well. And so you want to make sure and get it as professionally done as possible. You're going to want to purchase ISBN numbers. Now, I suggest buying them through Bowker and BOWKER. They come in packs of 10. You'll be surprised how quickly you go through a pack of 10 when you consider you need a separate one for your ebook. You need one for your paperback. If you do a hardback, if you do an audiobook, you have an ebook for, a supplemental book that goes with your book. You go through them pretty quickly. So you'll need to purchase those and then send that to your formatter so he can or she can put that on the back of your book, or your cover designer can do that. Okay, then once you have all of that done, then you want to upload your book to Amazon. You'll create an account. You'll need the EPUB file for your ebook from your formatter. You'll need a PDF file from your formatter for your paperback book and your hardback book. Those might be formatted differently, so just keep that in mind. So I don't have time to go into all the details of Amazon, but you'll set up categories and keywords and the price of your book. Compare the price of your book to others in your genre and how many pages it has, so that it's priced competitively. You want to try to make not less than $3 on a book. And that's about the average of what someone makes on their book is $3 per book. I know. Then you want to set up an account with Ingram Spark. The reason why this is important is if you want to have your book in brick and mortar stores and in libraries, they purchase the books from Ingram Spark, not from you, not from Amazon, from Ingram Spark. Then you want to set up a launch. So on Amazon, you want to price your book at 99 cents or $1.99, something really inexpensive, so that you can get a lot of people to purchase your book around the same period of time. You want to have a specific date that you notify people, please purchase my book on these 3 dates or so, and please leave a review within a week. That way, you are increasing your chances of getting to best-selling author status. Amazon has new release best-selling stickers or bars that they put on your site to show that you are a best-selling author. This is difficult to explain in such a short period of time, but if you have questions, you can contact me. So once you have that date set and your email sent out and people are purchasing your book, that will increase your ranking on Amazon and help you get to that status. Okay, you can also do a book signing at an indie bookstore. Now, you'll want to create a website with your name, not the name of your book, because if you write another book, then what are you going to do? And you want to set up your social media accounts too by your name. If you need to use your middle initial, that might help. But try to get them all with the same name. That will help simplify things for your followers. Okay, marketing. A good marketing strategy is to do podcasts. And that is something you can do for free. People will set you up. You can go to podmatch.com and you can get set up with podcasters there. Also, entering contests is a good way. And I have won, I believe, 8 or 9 contests by entering my book in different categories. And that also helps your rankings. And you can talk about that in social media posts and on your podcast. Okay, now if you have a business, this is really helpful because you won't just be relying on your book to make money. So I am a nutritionist, I'm a self-publishing coach, and I'm an inspirational speaker. These are all things that help my income. I don't just rely on my books for income. Okay, so another thing that I did was, well, one, I did an audiobook and I did a separate release date for my audiobook. So then I had another opportunity to get best-selling status. So if you do that, I recommend Steve with Audiobook Masters. He did an awesome job and explained the process very thoroughly. I recorded my own audiobook and I loved it. I absolutely loved doing it. So it's a pretty fun process, actually. The other thing that I did was I created a supplemental book, which is my free offering for you today, my study guide for Beauty Beyond the Thorns. Now, if you add a supplemental book, you're not only enhancing your reader's experience, you may be supplementing your income with a second book. They say the best way to make more money on your first book is to write a second book. And so if you can come up with an idea for a supplemental book that can enhance your first book, I would recommend that. And that's why that's my free gift to you today. So you can go to my website. I know Marnie has it available on this page too, I believe. But if you go to my website, I'll put my website in the chat. It's my name. And you can download the book there and take a look at that and get an idea of what a supplemental book might look like for you. These are all different ways to get through the self-publishing process. It is possible. I know there's a lot of details that have been left out, but hopefully this gives you a good idea, a beginning place to start getting your book. Just start writing it and you'll do great. I believe in you. Go get them. Take care. Bye-bye.